what are you doing at the weekend? You got many weekend plans? Got a big weekend ahead? Oh, fuck off, Barbara. I am going to eat Nutella out of the jar with a teaspoon in my pyjamas. What of it? Hi, I'm Victoria Pearson, but you can call me V, and every week on this channel I share a little way that I'm trying to grow into my happiness. I invite you along to join me on that journey. And this weekend I did absolutely bugger all, and I refuse to apologise for that. When we look at nature, when we look at animals in the wild, we never ever see them running around trying to cram in lots of weekend plans when they're not busy doing something. When an animal in the wild is not busy, it rests. And I just think that is such a beautiful piece of our natural selves that we have lost touch with. I think apex predators are supposed to loaf around and they're quite happy and healthy on it. So what's wrong with a little bit of loafing? Why do we have to be doing stuff every single weekend, all the time? Why is my weekend wasted if I haven't gone lots of places? Why do I feel guilty for wasting time that belongs to me? I don't know. But all I did this weekend was have a little walk.
This weekend I didn't get up to anything very much except have a walk in these beautiful woodlands and find an abandoned structure covered in graffiti that I found quite beautiful. But for some reason, that gave me a real big sense of guilt and almost anxiety because I felt I had wasted the weekend. And I wondered to myself, why is it that I really care if I've wasted a weekend or not? It's my time to waste after all. And I came up with this completely unsubstantiated theory that I have anxiety and guilt about wasting my weekends because of primary school. You see, every Monday morning, we would all be gathered on the carpet for circle time and we would be asked, what did you do with your weekend? And for those of us that sat around in our pyjamas and just watched a bit of telly, that could be quite an anxiety-inducing moment because there were a lot of kids who did a lot of stuff at the weekends. I wonder if those kids are the same people that grew up to be mums that do a lot with their kids every weekend. I'm talking they've got swimming lessons and dance lessons and language lessons, and then they've got tennis, and then they've got a barbecue, and then they've got a party. I am exhausted just talking about all that. I think actually it's probably perfectly fine if your weekend consists of having a little potter around the house doing some housework, or having a little walk and looking at all the graffiti in this weird abandoned building. But I found it quite magical, this just abandoned structure just right in the middle of the woodlands like this. I have no idea what it was ever for. It's clearly the local teenagers' hangout now, and I just love the contrast of it with these beautiful woodlands that are just beyond it. It's almost like a few steps away, there's not a trace of another human around, and I found that quite magical. I had a little wander through the woods and I had a little chat with the trees about some things that have been bothering me, and I got a bit concerned because all of this was supposed to be swampland along here and it is all very, very dry. Even the ivy is drying up and you can see all the bare roots of it twisting around this tree that's hanging on despite it. It was a beautiful little walk though. I crossed a little bridge over a dry swamp and I came to an area where it suddenly became very, very thick and close, and it was like another human didn't exist for miles and miles around. I was just in the middle of this gorse on an ever narrowing path. But when it opened up, I could see the entire canopy, and it made me feel big in a place that usually makes me feel very small. It was a wonderful way to waste a day, if a waste is what it was. And I think that we shouldn't feel guilty for that. I think we should enjoy the wasted days and the do-nothing days and the finding weird trees that are shaped like a witch on a broomstick days, and not worry about wasting our life, because our life is made up of these little experiences. And I don't know, maybe primary school does have a lot to answer for in that respect. Maybe more important than doing a list of activities that we can tell people about and be smug about, maybe a little wander through the long grass and a bit of touching of some tree bark might be exactly what your soul needs today. Maybe if you just have a little wander with no particular destination in mind, you might find something really, really magical. Like I did, actually, because there I was, wandering around the woods, minding my business, when suddenly My son told me to freeze and be still and just listen for a moment because he was sure he could hear a deer. I said, that's quite likely. There are a lot of deer in these woods, but they don't often come near to people. We stood super, super still and super, super quiet, and then suddenly it came into view. And if we had been busy rushing around doing a million things that we had to do to make sure our weekend was not wasted, we never would have seen the deer. And it was actually magical.
I hope that you enjoyed having a little walk with me, and if the only thing that you managed to do this weekend was eat something nice in your pyjamas and maybe open the curtains as well, I'm so proud of you. That is enough. It is your time to spend how you want to spend it. And if all you do on your weekend is maybe have a little walk, or maybe watch a couple of TV shows, or maybe eat a really, really good sandwich, that's enough. That's okay. And I'm proud of you. If any busybody at work asks you what you did this weekend, you can just tell them you came to the woods with me. I won't tell. Join me on Monday for my next vlog, where hopefully I will be doing something a bit more substantial. This week I have had nightmare upon nightmare with my Wi-Fi, and I'm very surprised if this has come out at the right time, that I have managed to get this out on time. And so I'm not sure what we're going to be doing next week, but it will be a little bit meatier. But either way, I will be here Monday morning, 6 a.m. UK time, talking about something. And if you can't wait until then to see me again, I will also be here every single morning in your shorts, taking a great big deep breath, letting you know what I'm grateful for. Sometimes I let you know what's challenging me that day. I've had a few rough days this week, but mostly I try and keep it positive, because when we start to train our brains to look for something that we're grateful for each day, it just makes us happier in general. And that is why I always ask you guys to join in the comments, because the things that make you happy make me happy. So like and subscribe, or don't, I'm not your mum, but either way, you have yourself a beautiful week.